Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about how I've recently made money on the road. My very first work camping job was the sugar beet harvest. The site I was at was in North Dakota, northern North Dakota, and for me it was a really great experience. It was a great way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time and have a campground that I could stay at that was paid for. It had electricity, it had showers, it had bathrooms, it had Wi-Fi. So for me it was a great deal. All the campground and everything was paid for. I was able to, plug in my van and use a heater and my laptop as much as I wanted. They had Wi-Fi. You'll see in the footage that's coming up, the campground that I was at wasn't quite finished when we showed up, but it was still functional, so I really had no complaints whatsoever about the whole experience. I know a lot of others, I heard a lot of complaining, and they didn't have quite the experience I did, but everyone's different. My work background, I have a very seasoned background. I've done a lot of different things for work, so for me, I loved it. But I wanted to touch on some of the things that I didn't mention in the upcoming footage is there's day and night shifts, and there's a huge difference in the temperature between the day and night shift. During the day it was very comfortable in the 60s. Sometimes it even got up into the 70s. At night there's a good 20-degree difference, so when you're working on the night shift it's going to be a lot colder, and there's no pay differential. You get paid the same for working a day shift or a night shift. So that was something that was kind of surprising to some. It did the last few nights get down into the 30s, and you're working outside, so you have to dress accordingly. Our foreman was cool, and he let us pull our vehicles up, and during the downtime when there was no trucks, he had no problem with us going and sitting in our vehicles. I was a Bobcat operator, so it's a heated tractor, so I was warm and toasty the whole time. So some other things, there was a wide range of ages. There was people in their 20s. One of the couples on the piler I was assigned to, the guy was 75, his wife was 79, and they rocked it. They were one of the most positive, best workers to be around. It was really cool to see those older folks out there just doing it. So that was neat. It's not really hard work. It's basically just long hours. As you'll see in the footage, just kind of waving trucks through every now and then. You've got to shovel a couple beets, but you really shouldn't have to do a lot of that. That's the Bobcat operators, which was my job. You come in and you scoop up the beets and dump them so they can get piled. Really, the physical part is you take a snow shovel and you kind of scrape away the mud that's in your work area so it doesn't build up and you slip and fall. So on that note, it can be muddy and dirty if there's any rain or it's wet. You're building up a couple inches of mud on your boots, so you're constantly scraping the mud off. And if it's dry, it's dusty. The wind blows and there's dust all the time. The safety gear is provided. They provide you with a hard hat, safety glasses, safety vests, which are mandatory, and they also provide dust mask and earplugs if you want to use them, and then they also provide a full rain suit if it happens to get a little wet. If it rains too much, you just don't work because the farmers can't get their trucks in the fields. I touch on that in the upcoming footage. They were very accommodating about couples. As far as if you're there with your mate or partner, they will assign you to the same piler and you will work basically side by side together. So there was a lot of couples that were, it's basically 5 people per piler, an operator, and 2 people on either side. So it was basically a couple on one side, a couple on the other side. And between those 2 couples, because they're on the same piler, a lot of those couples by, the last day, they had gotten to be really good friends and, really enjoyed working with each other. So there was a lot of camaraderie involved by the end. We were really proud of ourselves, really encouraging each other to stick it out, and really giving each other a pat on the back. So I got a strong sense of camaraderie, and I really enjoyed the group of people I worked with, and we had an awesome foreman. The second to last morning when we got off after working all night, he treated us all to breakfast at the local restaurant, and then our last night, he also brought in a bunch of pizza and sodas, so we were able to take our break and have pizza on shift, which was awesome. Let's see what else. Anything else I want to touch on? Yes. When the beet harvest first kicks off, it's a 24-hour operation. It's very busy at first. There's just truck after truck after truck. And then by the last week, especially the last few days, they're just kind of just filtering in. So there was a lot of just standing around, waiting for these trucks to come. That bothered a lot of people because they wanted to keep busy to pass time. And you just kind of had to stand around and wait for the trucks. But you're still getting paid. So hey, like I said, overall, I had a great experience. I did hear a lot of stories. There's a lot of people that quit, left, took off. They were disgruntled. They had problems. You know, on my side of the yard, on all 4 pilers, everyone was getting along great, having a great experience. And then on the other side of the yard, I heard some stories of there was some drama, some personal differences, and just not getting along on the work site, which is unfortunate. But I was actually surprised to hear that because we were having such a great experience on our end of the yard. So, you know, that's something to take in consideration. You know, you're working with people you don't really know. I did feel that in our training days, we did kind of have a lot of the couples that they trained together when they were assembling the crews for each piler. A lot of the couples kind of raised their hands and said, hey, we want to work with so-and-so, and they were able to have a little bit of say in who they're going to work with. So I would recommend that, and I think the people that had the drama problems on the other side of the yard, they didn't do that. They just kind of let themselves get pushed into whatever, and they didn't, you know, you kind of got to speak up and say, hey, I want to be here, I want to do this. With that being said, there are a couple positions besides the basic ground crew. There's the piler operator, who gets paid a couple bucks more per hour, and then the bobcat operator, which is what I did, who gets paid a couple bucks more per hour. And you have to step up and say, hey, I want to do that training. And then you do the training, and then they just kind of pick randomly, because there's usually an excess of people wanting to do that and only so many positions. So that's really all I can say. I know I just went through a lot of that really quick. I don't want this video to be too long, so we'll go ahead and get into the footage that I took while I was actually there. All right, guys, I hope it was helpful. Well, here we are. Welcome, work campers. Enter here. Like I thought, when that woman called me last Friday and said that my camp changed, I got this bad feeling that it wasn't going to have the facilities that the other one did. The Schumacher was such an actual campground. I just got this feeling that there wouldn't be bathrooms or shower houses, and I don't know. There is a building here that may be showers, but I got this feeling that there's not going to be showers. It's like the campground host, somebody to talk to anyway. Well, this'll do. We're here to work. Doesn't need to be fancy. All right, so that was really cool. That woman, Donnie, was really nice. This is her 3rd year doing this. And the little white building that I passed there, it's the shower house and restrooms. So she said it's the smaller guys like me that don't have, you know, shower and that in our rig, she's putting right up front here. So I'm going to be her neighbor. I'm going to actually be right there next to her, which is cool. And she recommended I go down to the office today, even though they have me scheduled for tomorrow, just to get checked in early. She did say the showers are not finished yet. They should be done by the end of the week. They're working hard to get everything set up. This is just a makeshift camp they set up. I do have hookups, water, and electricity. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. You know, as soon as I got to talk to her, everything just smoothed right out. All my nervousness went away. You know, she's retired age and said she's been doing this going on her 3rd year. She loves it. They work camp year round, different places. So I feel like I'm gonna really meet some cool people out here doing this. Yeah, guys. All right. Hey guys, so I'm at the sugar beet harvest work camping job here in Drayton, North Dakota. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a walk around the campground to let you see what the campground looks like that's provided. It's full hookups included if you can use them. 50 amp, 30 amp, 15 amp, plus a sewer hookup. So I'm just using the 15 amp on my little setup here. As you can see, it's really dirty out here. Lots of dust and mud when it rains. Provided with the site is a little picnic table, water hookups as well. These are my neighbors here. We're actually sharing a site because I wanted to be close to the shower house as possible, which is right over here. We'll take a walk over there in a little bit. But it's been working out really good for me.
I really don't have any complaints. When we showed up, it really wasn't finished yet. They're still working on the shower house, and we actually only have a few days left, and they're still not finished with it. But it's been usable all along. They just need to do a lot of the finishing work. So this is a camp that's exclusive to this work camping job, so it'll be something they use in the years ahead. So I'm actually already considering coming back next year, and I'd love to be at this camp again. So let's take a walk around. Had a great opportunity to meet a lot of neat people that are traveling and working on the road. See a lot of neat rigs like this one here, which is a really rare fiberglass tow behind. A lot of different Class A, Class C rigs. Here's a Rialta, which are neat. And then this couple over here is actually towing this custom teardrop trailer with their little four-door hatchback. Really efficient rig. They say they love it. They get great gas mileage, so it's worked out well for them. This is a neat bus conversion here. Custom job. They actually have a goat. Yeah, you heard me right, a goat in the back of it. They have a little pen set up where they have a goat. I'm not sure what the idea behind having the goat is, if they use it for milk. One of the things that has been a little bit of a bummer is with the 12-hour shifts, you do come home so tired that you just want to kind of crash and go to bed. But also if, say your neighbors are on day shifts, because it's 12-hour shifts, you don't really get to see each other. So there's been a few people here that I would really like to visit with and talk to, like the owners of that bus, but they're on day shifts. So until this whole gig is over, I really won't have a chance to even talk with them. So this is the shower house. As you can see, there's construction still going on. Like I said, we are on our last few days here and they're still not done. These guys have been here every day working hard to get it finished, but it was poor planning on their end, I can definitely say that. And it did upset a lot of the campers to come here and see that the facility that they thought they were going to have was unfinished. But this is what it looks like. This is the men's side. As you can see, the floors aren't done, the bathroom stalls aren't done. So what we're doing is we're coming in and locking the door to have some privacy, which is doable. It's hot water, on-demand hot water, and it's really warm. So like I said, because it's not finished doesn't mean it's not functional. It's still working. I've been coming in here every morning after work and taking a nice hot shower, and it's worked well for me. They have the flushing toilets as well as porta potties throughout the campground. So I really don't have any complaints. It would have been nice to show up and see them finished, but that's just not the case. This is the women's. They've actually got it a little bit further along. They've got the dividers in for one of the toilets. Once again, they've just been locking the doors for privacy. Then over here is supposed to be kind of like a community room. They actually do have decent Wi-Fi set up, so you can come in here. I actually get the signal at my van because I'm just right over here. But people come in here, hang out with their laptops and iPads, and can use the internet. This is supposed to be kind of like a little community. I think they wanted to have like coffee set up and stuff like that, but once again, they just didn't have time to finish it. So we will probably leave here when the job is completed and this still not be done. But like I said, I'm already considering coming back. This wasn't something that's going to scare me away from doing this again. And it'll probably be finished by next year. So they got me all done up in safety gear. We wear a hard hat, safety glasses, safety vest. And it's fun. I like it. I like the atmosphere. I've worked on construction sites before, and I just like the mentality of most people, and it just makes for a good work atmosphere. It's productive. At the end of the day, you know that we got a lot done and we did it together as a team. So I got great things to say about this sugar beet thing so far, guys. All right, peace. So that's a piler right there. That's the machine that you work on when you do sugar beet harvest. There's somebody that's an operator that sits up in the little operator's booth, and then there's two people on the ground on either side. Hey, on this one here, you can see the truck dumping his beets into the end dump there. And then there's the two guys in the green vests there. That's the ground crew. That's what you do. That's what you get paid 12 bucks an hour for. You basically stand on the ground and wave trucks through.
You can see that big boom in front there, swinging back and forth, piling beets up. That's the whole operation. You can see how big these beet piles are. So basically, you just stand there and wave through trucks. You take samples of the beets every now and then so they can check the sugar content, and you do that for 12 hours a day. I'll drive along this beet pile. You can see how big it actually is. This is actually one of the smaller piles here, and then we're going to get up to this pile up here, and you'll see how long it is. It's amazing how you can see the width of it here at the end, how high it is, and we're going to drive along it here. And this is a deep freeze pile. You can see these fan vents here. Those are the culverts that I was laying with the Bobcat that go through the pile as the pile's being piled. And look at all those beets, guys. Look at how long this pile is. So this is in North Dakota, so within just a few months, it's going to be freezing up here below zero. And they actually let these piles freeze so they can store them through the winter. That's the whole idea about getting this all done before winter. And then as they thaw out, they bring them into the factory and process them into sugar. Pretty crazy. So you can see that truck, he drives through that end dump there. He goes through, and then once he's through, the operator is going to lift up some gates, and then he'll back into those gates and then start dumping his beets. The beets go up a main conveyor belt, and then they drop down the front to this boom that has a conveyor belt, and it swings back and forth and makes a pile. And, like I said, I drive one of these little Bobcats. There's just a few Bobcat operators. I was lucky to get the position. You can see him driving around. He picks up the dirt as it falls, any loose beets, clears off the end dumps where the trucks go. So I felt lucky to get that job. I just applied for it. I really didn't have any experience, and to get paid $2 more per hour. So I was grateful to get that position. All right, guys, so this is the piler. This is what the operator does here, operate all these levers to keep things going. The beets basically come in these end dumps. They go up this conveyor belt, they go through a hopper that knocks the dirt off, and then they get spread by this boom up front. So we'll go down and see if we get a closer look at the pile. All right, I'm gonna take off. We'll see you later. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you guys. Like I said, you know, I had a great experience. Some people didn't, but for me, it was something I would definitely do again. If you have any questions on stuff that I didn't touch on, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you on it. And overall, I can say I got the money in my bank account, and I'm back on the road, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I did meet a lot of awesome people that I'm actually still staying in touch with after the fact, after the job. I will be seeing some of those people with Amazon, and I'll also be some of them as we gather in Quartzsite for the snowbird season. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, guys, and I'm back on the road.